Someone asked me a question. They sent me an email the other day saying, we hear all about menopause and what it's like to go through it, and we hear all about the symptoms and all the stuff that can happen, normally negative, right? But the question she asked me was, what about post-menopause? How do women feel post-menopause? And it really kind of got me thinking, because I spend a lot of my time helping women go through the transition, because it's the hot flushes and the mood change, anxiety, all that stuff that we hear about that causes women the heartache. But what we don't hear about is what it's like afterwards. And I'm in the perfect position really to talk about that. For me, I went through menopause at 38 and I'm 45 now. So I'm 7 years post-menopause, and looking back, and hindsight is a gift, looking back, I can see how it was very hard for me, the transition. That's why I created Mrs. Menopause, because I wanted to talk about it. Nobody back then was talking about the menopause, so I wanted to start talking about it. I wanted to start sharing it and connecting with other women and seeing how other women were coping with it. And there was very little information out there, and yes, now there is much more. But there's still work to be done. And I feel like after just 7 years, of talking and emailing and blogging and vlogging and all the things that I've been doing, it's, the message is finally seeming to get out there. But the message I want to talk about today is what happens after menopause. Is there light at the end of that turbulent transition? And I like to say, yes, there is. For me, post-menopause, something's happened to me that I have this lovely kind of attitude now, and it's that I don't really give a shit so much about things, especially the little things in life. It's weird, I just don't worry so much about it. It's not perfect, but I certainly haven't got the hang-ups I had when I was younger. So that's great, and not worrying about what people think of me so much. That's work in progress too, but I don't worry so much about it now. I'm not this terrible people pleaser that I used to be. Another thing that's that happened to me post-menopause is to be really clear on what I want in the last years, if you like, of my life, because menopause is kind of like a midpoint. Hopefully not for me right now, but I think it's a time that women can just take stock, actually have a real honest talk with themselves about what's going on, because we are not on this planet forever, and I don't want to write off any of my time, and I want my years to be the best years I ever have, and that's how I want to think about post-menopause. And to do that, I've had to do some changes. I've had to invest time and money into myself, into my needs, to know what I want, because I never knew. And part of that is looking after myself. So it's looking after my physical needs, my spiritual needs, my emotional needs, my mental needs. All those areas need my attention now. And to do that, I have to put boundaries in place. And that's been a real hard thing. And I know it's something women struggle with, because if we've got kids or a career, those kind of things have come first. And generally, and I am generalising, most women don't put their own needs first. And I think menopause for me has been a time it's like, right, actually, I've done my stuff. I've had my kids, and I'm very blessed to have my kids. But now it's time for me to look after myself. And that's kind of what menopause has given me. And it's not like being a thing like that. Whoa, menopause, that's my attitude. I've had to work at that, and I've had to take the time and invest in my time to look at me. And I know not every woman's ready for that, but I do believe that menopause actually, for me, coming early at age, when it started in my 30s, but my last periods were kind of 38, I actually see it as a blessing. I actually see it as a gift, because it's almost like I've had some kind of awakening. No, I don't mean it's like, I've been, struck down or anything. It's been a gradual process, but I can feel how my eyes have opened, and I've got a different outlook upon life. And, I wish I could, and this is the same for anything, like when you're helping people, I wish I could just give these women that are struggling, and maybe it's you that's struggling, a taste of what's the other side. Because there is freedom. It gives me immense freedom. You know, I don't have periods. I don't have to worry about contraception. There's so many positives too going through the menopause. And I know there's the exception. I know there's still women suffering post-menopause or still having symptoms 5, 10, 15 years after their last period. They need some individual attention. But what, you know, I just wanted to share that positivity, because I think we can kind of get stuck in this menopause mindset. Oh my God, it's going to be awful. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. You know, I'm going to have these symptoms. I'm going to feel like this. Oh, it's going to be awful. And I'm not saying it's not going to be problematic, but some women don't have any of these problems. You've got to remember that. And there is light at the end of the tunnel. But I would say, you know, I've done all this hard work to help women like you. I've done the work. I know what works. I know what the options are out there, whether it's HRT or not HRT, natural solutions, coaching, or whatever it is. You know, there is help readily available to you, so you don't have to go through the years that I suffered alone, not knowing kind of where to turn. Oh, I obviously needed to get that out today. So I hope that's been really, I hope it's inspired you in some way to know that it's not all doom and gloom. And I'll see you soon.